Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the AFTERBUZZ TV's NXT After Show. Wonderful go-home show leading into NXT TakeOver San Antonio this week. We've got a lot to talk about, including a little bit of a State of the Show address, so stay with us.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's the countdown to NXT TakeOver San Antonio, and we are here ready to talk all about it. It is the AFTERBUZZ TV NXT. What? My audio's on. How unprofessional. I am one of your unprofessional hosts, the internet's Mark B. Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark B. Donica, joined as always by the full NX team. I mean, it's been full for the past couple of weeks, but regardless, the one Hobo, the one true Hobo is next to me. It's the one.
We're full, but I'm still hungry.
The one Billy Hobo.
The one Billy Hobo.
The one, yeah. Now everybody knows my name.
Billy Hobo?
Awkward.
Yeah,
Billy.
that's fine. Yeah. How about you, Bill? How are you doing?
And I'm your most unprofessional host, Bill Hanstock. Find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel.
I'm at True Hobo.
Yeah.
So one of the things I said, quote, State of the Show address. Nobody's getting fired except for Bill.
Yeah.
Nobody's leaving the show except for Hobo, and nobody's getting replaced except for me. So it's business as usual here at the NXT. So one of the things that we pride ourselves on here at AFTERBUZZ TV and here on the NXT show is constantly growing, changing, and evolving, and in some cases devolving. We like to have a lot of fun here on the show. We like to crack wise with each other. And last week, to some of you, it may have been a little bit too much. So we're going to try to rein it in. We're not going to be flat sport. We're not going to be talking smack, but we're going to be talking some smack here on the NXT After Show.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this episode of NXT.
So did I, Bill. What were your favorite?
Probably the matches.
And that's our show. We'll see you next. No, we're going. Let's this January 20. You right there?
Yeah, this cord.
Your chest is too big for the microphone.
I feel weird. Like I'm larger than usual.
You're larger than life.
I'm growing.
Swollen.
Have you been making those gains?
Dem gains.
Dem gains.
Yeah.
Dem Chris gains.
Out on the street, man, it's survival of the biggest. If you want to be the big guy, that's how you get bigger. The biggest get bigger.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight, but the fight to which the dog has been presented.
Close. Very close.
Was that a Backlundism?
That was low key.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That wasn't back Bobland. It was probably one of my favorite.
Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address demonstrated about the size of the dog.
Like I said, we're going to keep it straight this week.
Gonna keep it straight
Right.
this week.
No.
Let's talk about our opening contest, which was in between Ember Moon and Liv Morgan. This was a friendly contest between friends. Liv Morgan, seemingly just coming back from a game of flag football in the back, made her entrance with some new gear.
Did not look like Parappa the Rapper this week.
Did not look up a rep for the rapper.
Very disappointed. Not sexy.
Even though her gear is new, it still has holes in it.
It's called pre-distressed, Hobo.
Then
You
what's...
wouldn't know anything about that because all of your clothes have been pre-distressed because you get them out of garbage cans.
Well, they're naturally pre-distressed.
Right.
Like, I don't buy...
Actually, the clothes you get are distressed.
Well, I mean, they're pre-distressed for when I bought
Right,
them. When I buy them, they're already distressed, which is pre when I have them in my possession. So it's before the before. It's in the pre.
We're going meta.
Everyone should go to Netflix and watch Primer.
Just a hot tip. Use just sign up netflix.com/NXT to get a free month. That's not true at all. But
And that's a deal you can bet on.
thanks. I'd like to thank our sponsor this week, us. So this match had a lot of back and forth. It was two folks that were seemingly on the right side of the coin going against each other. They seemed pretty evenly matched.
They did. I'd say for the beginning and the middle of the contest, it was pretty evenly matched. Both of them trying to get the quick pin early, really not wanting to let the match go much further than, let's say, a couple of minutes, just because it's friendly. They're trying to outdo each other. They're trying to assert who's actually the better wrestler. And you can see it from the opening of the match. They're both kipping up, showing, hey, we're athletic, both of us together. So yeah, it was pretty good. You
Gotta get the shoulders in there.
Yeah.
Gotta get that.
I agree. I think that the match was evenly matched at the beginning because they both respect each other, and because as it started out, Neither was really like, I'm not really out to hurt the other person. I'm not really out to like embarrass the other person. We're friends. We're wrestling because of mutual respect for each other. But then once it got to that point where Ember Moon was like, no, then
pretty quick.
Then you see the divide.
Yeah, there was
motivation kicks in.
There's a swift knee to the face that sort of turned everything around.
Ember Moon has some special abilities. She is very, very strong. So when Liv Morgan took the extra effort to put on a guillotine, when Ember Moon was standing, not very smart, she got tossed. She got tossed right out of the ring.
And you can't. I mean, Liv Morgan may be small, but that's still tossing a human being, a full-size human being, over a rope and to the outside.
That's a 7-foot fall, I'd say.
It's pretty big.
Pretty big fall.
Pretty
Taller
sizely.
than me.
We'll probably see that also at the Sunday's Royal Rumble event, which you can catch on the WWE Network. Your first month's free. Going back to Liv Morgan's attire, like this seems like a change for her. Because primarily it seems like she's just wearing sort of like workout clothes and like the jersey and the hat. Where as this, she did have all of that, and it all seemed within her character, but it looked like proper, like wrestling tights.
We've come a long way from the half jersey.
Yes, we have.
We certainly
The half
have.
jersey.
Because she's all the way from Jersey.
Yeah.
I still think Liv Morgan needs to set herself apart from her other female competitors on her roster. I think her let's say upper level attack moves, let's call them that, are just a little bit too basic.
The strong attacks.
Having you know
When you hold X.
your bulldog in there is that's something that everybody does. I think you need something else that sets you apart, something that actually expresses who you are better than a bulldog, which everybody does.
Yeah, I feel like contemporary wrestlers, it's way harder for them because, like, when I was a kid and like dreaming of like someday being a wrestler, or dreaming of like if I was a wrestler, what would my move set be? Before I even had a word for move set, like what moves would I use? Like there was like maybe one or two people that used a bulldog on WWF television, and I was like, when I saw bulldog, I was like, that's the coolest move I've ever seen. How come someone's use that as a finisher or something like? You know, like, and I was like, I'm definitely going to use a bulldog when I, like, become a wrestler because, like, such a cool move.
Yeah.
And I think it was like that, like, back in the day, like, everyone used an axe handle, everyone used everyone...
Yep.
Drop the elbow.
Single elbow.
Maybe a knee drop, like, from a standing position.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was punching and kicking and elbow dropping, and there was, like, certain things that, like, most people did. And then there were certain moves, like, you know, every flyer used a drop kick, and every flyer used a crossbody.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's so wild. And you see so
The
much,
Wild
like,
West out there.
even from the main roster WWE main event guys who all work the main event style, they've all got 15 moves that are like pretty exclusive to that person. So it's like a new person coming up. I mean, you have to know this because you train people. Like, it's very tough to like, what are my moves? What can I do? One, what can I do super well? And two, what can I do that not everyone else does?
And what can I do to stand out?
Right.
Above the crowd.
When it comes to looking at moves, and I have assigned moves to people, I'm like, you should do this. It's really for a lack of what I see. I say you should do this because I don't see anybody else do it.
Yeah.
I don't say I saw somebody do this and you should do it too. It's the opposite. I say, you know what I don't see a lot? This. You should try doing that. And if they have an idea of what they want to do and it's too much like something else, I try and give it a slant that makes it more original or cater it to them.
And I think that there are definitely people at the Performance Center at NXT who do say that, like, you should do this because not a lot of people do it, or you should do that because I saw it once, or you know, or even NXT people, like Performance Center people coming in and be like, I've been watching tapes of the Indies, or I've been watching tapes of, you know, from our archive, and I'm going to start doing this because I think I saw it, I think it's cool. But I think that there are definitely people in the Performance Center and NXT that even if a person, like a trainer or a coach, was like, oh man, that would be a really good move for this person to do, sometimes that person's ability doesn't allow them to do that move. Like, even if it would fit perfectly, it was like, oh, it would be so awesome if you could do this move. and maybe, you know, it's possible that Liv's working on a bunch of moves at the Performance Center for months and months, but you can't do a move
until you've got it
right
95% of the time.
Pretty
so
locked in.
I think Liv's come a really long way.
Sure,
And
definitely.
I think
Tonight
that-
she did a great head scissor transition.
And I feel like what you're seeing from Liv right now is the moves that she does perfectly, or the moves that she does well enough to be on television. And maybe at some point in the future, we will see more impressive, more varied moves from her.
Like,
And it's not all about moves.
No, it's not.
Wrestling's the most important
Presence.
part of wrestling.
And something that I wanted to bring up is moving forward in the women's division. We have a fatal 4-way match on Saturday, which we'll talk about the full card later in the episode. But we have these two women not involved whatsoever. Where do we see them moving forward in the NXT women's division? Because Liv's already made some appearances on the Raw touring show. Is she past the NXT Women's Championship at this point?
I wouldn't necessarily classify it as that.
Yeah.
But I would not at all be surprised to see Liv Morgan move up to the main roster without ever being in another title shot or title program.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. But Ember Moon, I think, is the only real viable candidate to vie for the championship after this 4-way on Saturday night.
And
I think no matter the winner.
And I think
Yeah.
and I think after Ember Moon were to become champion, the next person in line to challenge Ember Moon for the title would be Nikki Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's money. They're saving that. They're storing it up. I think that's a money match right there. If they really are thinking about it and laying it out, that's a very strong possibility for them to use in the future if they get there.
We'll get to it later. We were talking about how I was tripping out about Asuka and Nikki Cross being essentially the same size.
Yeah.
I was tripping out because Nia Jax,
Yes, Nia Jax.
so glad I had a chance to do that. And it wasn't intentional, but she shared a picture of the like fan experience thing. You know, they do it at the Performance Center from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
The last one that they did that she was there, the one that like Brock Lesnar guy went to, that one.
Yeah.
She shared a huge group shot picture of everyone, and she's like, "That was a cool day. I'm in here somewhere." And it was like a Where's Waldo to find Nia, but in the front row, all the way on the left, were Alexa and Ember, and they're like exactly the same height.
Interesting.
And I was like, wow, because it's sort of a thing that Alexa is real small.
She's real small.
She's also slender,
SML.
and that's what
Oh, wow.
Ember has. It's got a little bit more size. Same with Nikki Cross.
Well, let's her do
Alexa
those
does-
throws like she did to Liv Morgan
Right.
tonight.
Alexa clearly does leg day though.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. She does all that flippy stuff.
Well, I mean, we saw the UK Championship tournament, and a few of those guys skip leg day. Not Tyler Bate though.
No, he has
Oof.
got. I think he
Tree
took
trunks.
everyone else's legs.
Pardon me, mate. You mind if I have your leg day?
Can borrow your legs.
He added them to his own legs.
He's like Tron.
No, he's like that He-Man character where you snap on all the different
It's a good pull.
Modulock.
Wow! You pulled it!
I play a He-Man game on my phone.
Oh, nice.
Oh
nice,
my
nice.
god!
But I didn't remember it off the top of my head.
In the back, we're going to talk more about the women's division a little bit later. In the back, we've got Cien Almas talking in both English and Spanish, but the ultimate message that he had for Roderick Strong was, I'm going to kick him in the face. And then Roderick made an appearance.
Hey. Hey,
Get your damn hands.
He's the George McFly of NXT.
Get your damn.
you're not the one who kicks me in the face. I'm the kick to your face.
It was a little lackluster. Hey, if you want to kick me in the face, why don't you kick me in the face right now? And
then he elbowed him in the face anyway.
And then
he
he-
didn't kick him, but he elbowed.
but then he just started beating the crap out of
Yes.
him and left Roderick beaten in a heap in advance of their match.
Not so
on
strong
Saturday.
now, are you?
No,
Do you
Roderick weak.
guys think that was the first take?
I think you know what it was. It was probably like both guys was like, I felt really good about that. That was great. And the producer's probably like, yeah, okay, we got
We'll
it.
put it on TV.
We got more to get through.
Check the gate. Moving on.
All right, we're moving on.
Hey.
Great work, everybody. That's why they call me One Take Roderick.
All right, Charlie, get back in your your Muppet trench.
Stand in this hole.
Essentially what it is. Like
Yeah.
seeing, I think whoever it was that interviewed Nikki Bella on Tuesday, like, and they were towered over
Right.
by Nikki. It's like, she's not that tall, but
She is pretty tall.
she's
though.
a little tall. But I mean, we had Bree in studio a couple months ago, and I was like, compare whatever.
It's like Kathy has to like do all the interviews in a crouched position.
Yeah.
Like, especially if she's talking
Tom
to somebody
Phillips
like
just
Alexa.
does, Tom Phillips just says the Ramones wide stand.
Oh, absolutely. Almost every interviewer does that. Oh, I gotta get down.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they definitely put some people on platforms at NXT though, just to make it easier.
Yeah.
But I'm still tripping out about like Kona Reeves and Noah Jose and the interviewers. Like,
It's like, they're just big. Let them be. Their bigness comes across.
you should
the
put
land of
the mic on like a
giants.
selfie stick.
After this, we see a package leading up to DIY versus the Authors of Pain for the NXT Tag Team Championships. That looks great. We'll talk about that later.
Spooky yellow ring.
Spooky all the way. No Way Jose versus Noah Kakoa. This was a fun one. I liked it a lot. Jose kept Noah at bay with all of that funk. And Kakoa was teasing him a little bit. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to start to feel this, and then use that to his advantage.
Front thrust.
Yeah.
Yep. Cruel.
Kona Reeves.
Kona Reeves.
Kona Reeves.
Wait, whoops. That's what happens when you change somebody's names.
I don't know who Noah Kakoa is, but he sounds
Oh.
neat.
Dang it. Yeah.
See-
Kona Way Jose.
Fine. Kona Reeves. My apologies. Maybe don't change somebody's name twice while they're on TV the whole
Noah
time.
Potches.
Noah Potches.
Right, that's
That was the second
That's
one.
his real name, though, I think, because that was, I think, his name in
2K17. Yeah.
some. I don't know.
He Kona had control for a little bit. Now I don't know who I'm talking about. And he gave Jose a wee bit of a surf. I like the
Oh, fancy yourself.
fancy a surf. I'm gonna use your legs.
Give me your legs.
Give me your legs.
Tyler Bates just like living under a bridge, snatching people's legs.
Give me your legs.
Just a bridge troll.
He he takes out their vision by reflecting off of the belt.
Oh, I can't. Oh God.
I like the and we're back to He-Man. I like the running Samoan drop that we got from
That looked very
Kona Reeves.
strong.
Yeah, very big.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does the Samoan drop a little bit different, but we got a lot of people doing it at this point.
It was a really good showing from Kona Reeves, and it's a bummer. It's a bummer. It's always a bummer that transitional period between like the Full Sail crowd being like, "Hey, we've seen you lose a bunch," and then like them get a new name and a new theme song and a new entrance and a new personality, and then be like, "Okay," like trying to get used to them having like some legitimate offense and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He managed to take out Jose and keep him down for a while.
I thought he did a great job. I'm just saying, like it's rough, especially like the fourth hour of a taping.
Yeah,
like, it's rough for people like Kona who are like, now I'm going to give a competitive match.
Yeah, it's, today you have to look like you can win this.
and the crowd did seem a little bit tired on this episode.
Well.
We first noticed it in the women's match where it was just dead quiet.
Liv Morgan had a hot comeback and two crickets. Absolute crickets. Brutal.
And that's
Come on,
and
guys.
that's no display on her. That's the crowd just
Well, it's a little of both. It's like what I was talking about. You're not appealing properly to get a reaction. I mean,
Okay.
even if they're tired, you can get something.
Should be able
It's
to.
like,
oh, good.
Come on, Nikki.
Come on, Nikki.
come on, Carmella. I mean,
Jose gets the pop-up punch for the win, and about to get interviewed. Gets interrupted by Elias Sampson of all people. Sings him a little pretty song. He's wearing a lemon on his shirt for some reason. I don't know where he keeps getting clothes because he's a drifter with very little money.
They're distressed.
there are places. I have a Cactus Jack shirt.
I mean, I figured you just literally stole that off of a fan's back at Raw.
He could have given it to me. Why do I have to steal everything?
Why not?
That's classist.
I mean, you know what? You're right.
Thank you.
We're going through a lot right now as a country, trying to stay
We're
together.
not here to be divided.
No.
Divisive.
No.
Yeah, we're here together. Let's all hold hands.
We're here.
Hello.
We're Hobo.
here.
Get used to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But sings me a little bit of a song that I wrote for him. Jose ain't having it. It's a shame he spent all year writing that, cause it sucked. And he teaches the crowd a new song, which is Just Drift. Oh wait, just drift. Oh wait, just drift. Oh wait, just drift.
Oh, wait. It was good.
It's pretty good.
See, Samson got a reaction.
Well, it's pretty easy for Elias Samson to get a reaction. Runs down to the ring, gets his block almost knocked off. He runs away just in the right time.
He still brought his guitar, though.
You got
Just
it.
kept it safe.
We were talking about it, like, he should have left the guitar there if he wanted to actually get in and make a serious offensive move. Don't bring your lady with you to a fight.
I think someone needs to teach Jose about constructive criticism.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
pretty forward.
He's a little
Follow like the
harsh.
7-to-1 ratio. 7 compliments to every criticism.
7 to
I know
1?
it's a weird managerial tactic.
Kind of marshmallowy people are you talking to?
There's some employees you got to do 1 to 7.
Good God.
I like that you wore pants today.
Listen, hey, you're breathing in and out. I love that kind of attitude.
And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
1 in to 1 out. I mean, you're nailing it.
You got
buddy.
both legs in those pants too?
Give me your legs. I don't need the pants, just the legs, mate. Shaza.
Shaza.
Shazza.
Had to get a solid Shaza from the entire group. Our next match, we've got the debuting huge Chris Atkins
Big Chris.
versus Eric Young. You know a little bit something about Chris Atkins.
I do. I believe I've met him before, but I do know he's from Melbourne. That's where I
Melbourne.
was when I was in Australia. Nearly a year ago now. And,
Wow, yeah, it's been a year.
Big Chris was really destined to be in WWE. He knew he had the size, the physical ability, and he knew it was just a matter of time before he was actually signed to WWE. So he's really a product of WWE, but only because he knew that that was the best place for him to learn how to wrestle because of his size.
If there's anybody that you could look at and go, that's a WWE guy, Chris Atkins.
He's tall, he's handsome, he's nice. Like, okay.
Well, Bill,
Yeah.
dang, that is a man. I can make. He's Rocky. He's Rocky for all intents and
is,
purposes.
yeah.
He's Melburnian Rocky. But
I always like on sometimes you'll go to an indie show and there's like one guy on the indie show where you're like, that's what a wrestler looks like. Like
he's not wearing loose pants.
Yeah, we were at PCW and that Hammerstone guy came out. We were like,
dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hammerstone he's a specimen.
Hammer's actually down to 205.
Really?
Cut up 205.
Holy
no
Lord.
BS.
That's
That's what he says.
That's crazy because
I weigh more than him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What? He's got like a foot on you?
No, his boots. His boots help him.
Okay.
Don't put a foot on me. Give me your legs.
Give me.
Give me legs.
Clements,
Give
we're
me your
looking forward to the
legs.
"Give Me Your Legs" shirt design.
Yeah, coming soon. It's just gonna be
It's like
two.
a drawing of Tyler Bate holding a bunch of legs, like a sack full of legs. And he's under a
No, but
bridge.
it's like the lime guy. Like, how can I hold all these limes, but it's legs? And it's Tyler Pate.
Yes.
Dear
With a
fan,
Shutterstock watermark.
perfect. Chris Atkins, unfortunately, despite his size, facing Eric Young tonight, could not stand a chance against his experience and expertise.
Tenacity, his ferociousness.
For his
three
size.
eyes.
So much power for his size. He really is.
I'm surprised he got him up for the
deceptively
neck
strong.
breaker. That was nuts.
He's very strong. And low center of gravity
He's an
helps a lot too.
extremely determined, very angry, deeply brown man.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Florida. He is a fisherman, an outdoorsman,
Yeah, he is.
and he lives in Florida.
Yeah.
He scares bears away.
Yeah.
That's just with his voice.
And all he has to do is say, choices!
Choices.
Choices! Dillinger!
Ricky.
It says, choices, Dillinger, you made your choice, and it was the wrong one. And Killian Dane, the newly dubbed Killian Dane, lays
New
down...
jacket, new name. He's got it going on.
New legs.
Like the Shockmaster to me.
Lays down, gives a lay down to the Chris Atkins.
He gives a lay down.
Sitting senton. running senton.
He calls it the narcolepsy.
It's like,
Should call it the itis.
the,
man.
the itis. That is a Boondocks reference. Bless you. We get a little bit of a package look at Shane Thorne and how he got injured by the Revival last week. He got reconstructive knee surgery on his lateral meniscus, and it looks like he's going to be out for 7 to 9 months.
It's a tough break.
That sucks.
It's really, really, really bad.
Where does that leave Nick Miller, too? Not to say that he can only perform with Shane Thorne, but Nick Miller...
He's just got to bide his time. That's the worst position to be
Yeah.
in. To be injured's one thing, but to be the partner of an injured man is just...
Well, it's a bummer because, well, I mean, clearly of the positioning of the two members of TM61, Shane Thorne was like positioned as like the breakout, like exciting. Not that Nick Miller was unexciting, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like Shane Thorne got all the glory spots, the highlight reel stuff.
But I
The
think,
jump off of the crane.
I think Nick Miller's actually a better long-term prospect
I'm sure he
than
is, yeah.
Shane. But
For
I love
one,
them
he's not
both.
getting injured. Well, I have a solution to this.
Oh, go on.
Roderick Strong's partner is injured. Nick Miller's partner is injured. Nick Miller looks like he's Roderick Strong's dad. Let's just put them together.
Make him what?
Make him what? What was your...
Slow down.
Make him chaos.
Modulock them together.
It's just a face lip lock is what it is.
I just want to see them do come to a backstage interview and do like the Hogan Savage I don't know, BG.
That seems familiar.
Yes.
Nothing.
And then we also got a look at the NXT title match between Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura. Our final segment of the night, which seemed a little bit odd to people who were following NXT on social media, which we'll talk about after that. Regal invites all the competitors to the Women's Championship match out, and he says that he was assured that a brawl would not break out, much to the chagrin of the crowd.
No!
Even he didn't believe it. He said it, and he did not even believe it. Yeah, they promised me they're not going to fight, so...
I mean, but you all saw last week.
Bring them out.
Actually, no, last week was pretty good. It was just the Shiba Inu comment that threw everybody off.
I've been assured there will be no brawls this week. Everyone has told me no brawls, no backsies.
And then, but then it cuts to him in the back where he has his knocks on. He's like, "No brawls, hey, take your legs." Okay. No brawls, for I'll take your legs.
Tyler, get in there and take the legs.
Really look forward to having Tyler Bate.
This is actually way more on topic and focused than last week.
It is, weirdly enough.
But yet we're still having our fun,
Having a good time.
a good time. We're
Having
shooting stars moving through the sky like a tiger to find the laws of gravity. Racing car passing by Lady Godiva. I want to go. There's no stopping me. Anyway, we got the Aussies coming out. We got Nikki Cross coming out, and they're like, "All right, this seems fine." Until Asuka runs out and beats the crap out of everybody.
Turnabout's
like that.
fair play, I guess.
I love them!
She clears out the Aussies to go face to face with Cross. The Aussies come back, try to do a sneak attack, but they get cleared, and as security tries to calm everything down,
Not really.
Well, they try.
They kind of bust in like
Hey,
the cops
you.
and just grab everybody.
Get your damn hands off.
bust in like George McFly and do nothing unless we're in the actual. No, yeah, I guess he actually ends up doing
I'm
something.
Back to the
Well.
Future Day, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Little known fact: today is the day where Marty McFly goes back in time.
You
back
can
in the
look it
back
up.
in the back in the back in the back in time.
Invisible Man.
So Nikki dives as Asuka's trying to be let out and takes out all the security people, and
The
they're
Aussies look on from the stage horrified.
terrified.
They are.
know we were signing up for this.
You girls wanted this. You wanted this, and you got it. You got to take on
Now-
two of the baddest ladies in the whole company.
This is what is known as reaping the whirlwind.
It's poetic.
It's beautiful. I'm reminded of that shot of Donald Sutherland where he's like,
Yeah.
That's-
snatchers.
that's what I'm reminded of. Shout out to our audio listeners who should probably be watching on YouTube for this. So something that was brought up actually in our chat. Remember, that was fun. Remember, if you watch us live on YouTube, you could take part in the show by being a member of the live chat. Somebody brought up, did they spoil the main event of TakeOver by not showing the Cassius Ohno bit, and maybe that's for the week after? No, in fact, that was just for the live audience.
Spoil the main event of TakeOver.
Because Nakamura comes out with the championship, and Ohno gives him a little slap on it. That was Cassius Ohno returning. The reason why it got picked up and shown in video form and all that was for the live crowd and to announce to the world through that Cassius Ohno had returned. That's why he's working the indie scene. That was not taped for television.
Right.
So no.
Yeah, so no.
It's really weird that. I mean, I guess I understand that some people would think that. That's really.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, they've done that with Eric Young, with Storm.
But NXT's given like they have an incredibly strong track record of like not spoil they have the wrong people come out with the belts like out of order on the tapings. Like they're really good about that. Guys.
So So even if
they're not gonna F it up.
No,
why
they're
would they
not.
do it now?
Seems like a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
So why don't we take a quick look at some news?
AfterBuzz TV News.
Thank you, Anthony. First little bit of news. We're going to talk about Shawn Michaels has recently been rumored to be a member of the what?
I
The
don't know.
performance shizzle.
Yeah, the performance is what? The performance center team.
Damn it, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg. He's always got Martha with him.
He does.
That's how you can't attack him. Martha's vicious.
La 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 la. It's the D-O-double-G.
And we're back. Welcome back, sir. Nice to have you back on the show.
Pleasure to be here, Monsoon.
Damn it, I'm not much. Anyway,
Sorry, Shivani.
We don't exactly know what Shawn Michaels' role is at the performance center.
Nail technician.
What? Nice. When interviewed,
Did you say male technician?
Nail technician.
Nail
yeah,
technician.
because
Yeah.
when interviewed on the red carpet for the resurrection of Gavin Stone, he commented by saying, that's something that right now is in the early stages. I think, to your point, I think we'll have a better idea as we get it more clearly defined about what it is. Finish and polish, that's kind of a vague and broad description.
That's what I said. He's a nail tech.
What does that mean exactly? At certain
I
times.
think it's pronounced Finnish and Polish.
Polish.
The Scandinavian countries.
That sounds
Oh,
about
so
right.
he's just working
yeah, in
with
Finland and Poland.
Nathan.
Finland and Poland. Okay.
At certain times, when it's convenient, people talk in the broad sense, and then you wait until you can get down into the details to find out what exactly is. If certain things could be taught, we would teach them, and they would just do them. There are some things that can't be taught, so I am waiting right now for it to get more clearly defined on what that role is. Regardless of what his role in NXT would be, Michaels reached the top of the wrestling business and stayed there for several years. If anybody could help young wrestlers reach their full potentials, it is Mr. WrestleMania.
He has a pretty good track record of training some of the best that have ever been, being, Daniel Bryan and Brian Kendrick.
The
Yes.
Bryans. Only
The
Bryans.
Bryans.
That's it.
He's going to walk into the performance center. Give me all your Bryans.
That's a good Michaels. And now we're going to talk a little bit about Saturday NXT TakeOver San Antonio. We've got our card. Let's start from the bottom and work our way to the top. Let's start with Roderick Strong versus Andrade Cien Almas. This match is pure fire.
Yep. I
So
mean,
they're going to.
It's impossible to be more excited about this match than Roderick Strong himself is.
And that's pretty excited.
Boy howdy. I hope this translates better to wrestling than it does to
I think it will. I think
actual
that,
language.
I feel like both of these guys. I believe this is the highest profile match both of them have had. I think it's probably a higher profile match than Almas's match against Noe Jose at a takeover.
Sure.
Just because Royal Rumble weekend, way bigger venue. I think it's the most it's certainly the most high profile match that Strong has had since coming in, and I think that they'll be motivated to make something good happen with each other, and I think it will translate a lot better in the ring. What I'm hoping is going to happen is that Roddy has been so focused on Roddy versus the world, I'm coming after the title, without really having earned it or really anyone else
Reputation alone.
thinking the same way that
Yeah.
he has been thinking. That I think that he might get a big wake-up call in the form of Cien Almas getting one over on him. You know, maybe by nefarious means. Maybe Strong gets a little bit too cocky. He doesn't take him seriously enough. But I think that Strong's going to run into a roadblock and into the line. And and I think that Almas is going to get the victory, and Roddy is going to have to think, maybe Roddy versus the World is going to have to be a little bit more comprehensive than just, I come into the world and take the belt.
So you're saying that Roderick might have to go back to his roots?
Possibly.
Well, I agree with you. I think much like how Google language made its own language, Google Translate made its own language so that it can better translate to itself better. These two will be able to understand each other better in the ring through physicality than through any spoken word.
The computer made its own language
Oh,
to talk to itself.
Did you not hear that?
No.
Yeah. It found what words match best amongst each languages to translate itself faster.
Like it.
I think, not to get too off topic, but I feel like, you know how in like sci-fi movies people talk about speaking basic, which is like a shared language? I think that could be our way to a world language.
Hey man, at this point I'm ready for the machines to take over.
Yeah, it couldn't be any worse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear our interview with Brian Cage, I'm kidding. But I agree with you too, Bill. I do think that Andrade will take this one.
Yeah, Almost I think actually has more momentum going into this than Strong does, and I think Andrade has more to lose than Strong does.
Oh, for sure.
So for that reason, I think he's actually going to be fighting harder and smarter. The last victory he got was through nefarious means. I think he's going to do the same thing. Roderick's really got to watch his back. It's going to be whatever it is. He's not going to see it coming, and when it does, that's going to be it, and it's going to be over.
And Almas has had like these last two matches against Oni. He's on a good streak of some really solid stuff, and Strong hasn't really had a competitive match yet.
Yeah, I mean his match for the Dusty Classic was pretty good, but I agree he hasn't had anything that's really made people go, oh yeah, Roderick Strong. I look forward to what he's going to do in NXT. He's still coming off of his hype from the indie scene.
He's got to find his own way, much like Samoa Joe did.
Oh yeah. But we're agreed that we're all seeing a victory for Almas.
Yeah,
We are indeed.
and a rivalry that's still a little young. Eric Young versus Ty Dillinger.
A little young.
A little, because he's short.
Why do all the Canadians have to fight?
Why not?
I don't know. It just seems kind of like racist, maybe. I
It's
don't
like,
know.
hey, you don't have to fight. Why don't you just fight me? We know each other. We speak the language together, But I mean, you can't really. You still can barely understand Eric Young through his throat.
Maybe that's why they have to fight, is because Eric Young's voice is no longer Canadian.
No.
It's
I
like,
think
you're
it's
Canadian.
kind of Inuit. A lot of throat singing.
Just manually slapping his vocal cords. What? Now,
Sounds so dirty.
they have all the meats. I think Ty Dillinger has to win this one, but I won't be surprised if he doesn't, because he is the guy that, unfortunately, despite not getting a lot of wins recently, still shines in all of his matches. He's like the modern day Tyler Breeze.
But yeah. I mean,
Current
but
day.
you like him.
Oh, love him.
Where Tyler Breeze, everybody hated him, but they love to hate him.
Yeah.
I hope Ty Dillinger wins this, because if he doesn't, I fear we'll scrape him off the sidewalk. He just keeps getting lower and lower. We're just gonna find him dead in an opium den from an overdose.
See, I think that Ty Dillinger feels like he has to win this match, but my prediction is that Sanity will use their numbers and cheat him out of a victory, and that he will get furious, and instead of a fear of him not being a perfect 10 anymore to motivate him, it will now be a Ty Dillinger goes on the damn warpath situation.
I see where you're coming from, but I don't think that's how it's going to be. I think Sanity is slated to have similar performance issues to the Wyatt family. When all of them are present, I think that's when they're going to lose. But maybe in a slimmed down one-on-one type contest, they're more likely to win as singular individuals or as a tag team. But I really do foresee Ty Dillinger being the one to pull out a victory through any means necessary. I don't think it's going to be clean. I don't think it's going to be quick. But I think he's going to be the one to be standing tall by the end of it. Even if he doesn't walk out of the arena that night, I think he'll get the win.
Does anybody think we're going to see Sawyer Fulton get involved?
No.
Is he dead? He's dead.
Well, yeah,
isn't he?
they ate him.
Ah, that's right.
Duh.
Killian Dane ate him. We got a lot of people saying, Ty, AJ0314 says Ty wins via countout, so he wins with a perfect 10. Ron Corleone says Ty Dillinger loses, Sanity beats him down, Doug Dillinger makes the save. Zeno R says Ty wins by DQ. I love me some Ty Dillinger. We've been fans of Ty Dillinger for years at this point. And maybe he has such a good performance, win or lose, that maybe somebody in the back's like, maybe you got the Royal Rumble coming up tomorrow. You want to come on back? Because rumor is that the entire NXT roster is going to be backstage, so we won't know who's going to enter the Royal Rumble because there's usually an NXT star here or there.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting. Fatal 4-way match for the NXT Women's title. Peyton Royce, Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Asuka.
I think that's really the match to watch for the evening, because if Asuka is going to lose the title at any particular time, it's going to be during
She doesn't have to get pinned.
Exactly. Stakes are incredibly high for there to be a new champion. There have been 4-ways in the past, and somehow the champion has managed to retain, but I have a sneaking suspicion this is not going to be the case.
Then who do you think takes it?
Tough to say. I mean, the fact that there are two individuals in this match who are a combined force and are openly willing to share the title between them means that it's really a contest between 3 individuals. The two being a singular.
Two become
and I
one.
think they'll work together to try and obtain the belt for themselves. And because it's 2 and there's a single pinfall scenario, they are far, far more likely to win it this way.
Acting like a couple of wannabes. Bill, what do you think about this match?
I agree. In my mind, the most likely scenario is that Asuka finds a way to retain her title, and they then finally build to the Ember Moon match at WrestleMania. The second most likely scenario, which is only slightly less likely than the first, is that there is a new champion without Asuka being involved in the finish.
Yeah.
Because if there is a new champion in this match at this takeover, Asuka can't be involved in the finish.
No.
If they're going to have Nikki Cross be the first person to defeat Asuka, she should be the first person to defeat Asuka in a one-on-one match.
I agree.
It can't be a 4-way.
Yeah.
Right.
But so my thinking and my preference would be Asuka retains. We move on to WrestleMania where Ember Moon challenges, maybe finally takes her rightful place, or Nikki Cross takes the title without Asuka being involved, and we either build to Nikki Cross versus Ember Moon, where arguably have a true pure heel. Although even Nikki Cross isn't a true pure heel at this point, but Sanity is
Getting there, yeah.
Sanity is.
Her
So
is a part of the group.
as long as she is involved with Sanity, which she has not yet been as part of this chasing the women's championship, I wouldn't mind a 3-way at WrestleMania weekend of Cross versus Moon versus Asuka. Also, I mean, it's not a terrible idea to put the NXT Women's Championship on either Billie or Peyton. I mean, likely Billie if it's going to be one of the two. And then they're like co-champions or whatever. And then Ember Moon has to take down the true heels in the division.
Interesting how...
it could be anyone.
that's the thing. Is
Yeah.
it really
great.
can be
It's
anybody.
great. It's great.
This has to stand up to arguably one of the greatest women's matches of history, which is the last NXT Women's Championship match that was a fatal 4-way between the 4 horsewomen. So it's got a lot to live up to, but all of these women are amazing athletes. I find it funny how it seems like they keep watching the show because the Aussies came out to Peyton's music tonight instead of Billy's, which they seem to have been doing consistently for the past little while.
Probably because they had a really awesome Billy Kay entrance theme, and then they changed to a sucky one.
That's me. I did the song, so I think it's fine. But yeah, I like both of your ideas. I mean, I wonder if they would give Asuka the full year title reign from Mania to Mania.
She's already the longest reigning. It doesn't really mean anything now. Once you're number one, and everybody else has got to catch up with you.
Yeah.
And also, even if she loses the title without being involved, she still hasn't lost a match.
Still hasn't hasn't been pinned.
Right.
She hasn't lost a match.
No, I know, but I mean, but if she still lost the match even though she wasn't pinned, so they would change it to she has never been pinned or submitted or counted out.
That would be the argument for if she loses it but doesn't actually get pinned for it. She can totally keep the idea that she is the rightful champion because she was never pinned. And a warrior truly would use that line to define how much of a warrior they are. I have never been defeated, therefore I am the best.
We got to move on to our next match. NXT Tag Team title match, Authors of Pain versus Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. #DIY! I think this is going to be a massacre. Like, I don't necessarily think that means the Authors of Pain are going to win, but they're going to do everything that they can to make sure that Gargano and Ciampa cannot move.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to look at this and go, Ciampa and Gargano have a chance in hell. I think
especially we have a history of Johnny Gargano losing by submission. So he's had knee problems in the past. Do we know if he's entirely
a giant target?
Yeah.
And they could literally just wishbone him and snap both of his legs off.
And then Tyler Bate will show up.
He would show up and take him away.
Legs, legs, fresh legs. So I really don't know how this one will go.
Lungs, precious.
Because I want the Authors of Pain to be this dominant force, but if anything, maybe they have to stop the match because it's just too dangerous.
Right, I think.
Do they go the Kevin Owens route?
Right, that makes sense because I cannot see DIY retaining not to these two.
Yeah, I think they're gonna have to. I think after Saturday they're gonna have to change their hashtag to #DIE because they're going to die.
Dead.
Yeah, you dead.
How long have you been planning on?
Oh, just since he
saying that?
named the match.
Okay.
Yeah, months.
But no, I think we're gonna have new tag team champions.
Yeah, it almost has to be.
It's just, I mean, it's the way the story is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, tale as old as time.
DIY, I can imagine them not giving up. They won't give up. They won't submit. They won't be pinned. But there will be a ref stoppage because, I mean, there was when the Authors powerbombed that guy into that other guy and tried to kill him.
They actually did kill him.
Yeah, so...
Main event time, Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We've actually seen this match, and it was beyond entertaining.
Yeah.
I think we're going to have a awesome entrance off, and
it's gonna be real good.
we're gonna go super over on time.
They're gonna do all 4 matches in the first hour, and then the second hour is just gonna be like half an hour for entrances.
I don't even think the crowd's going to let them wrestle. By the time the entrances are over, the crowd's going to be going crazy with chants for either one of them.
When it's main event time, when the lights go down for the first entrance, that's when the "This is awesome" chants are gonna say.
Yeah, probably.
Enter forever.
Both these entrances. Regardless of who wins, because who knows.
Regardless of who wins, we win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This show looks like it's going to be pretty dynamite. We're looking forward to it, and it's time to announce when we're going to be doing our after show for it. So
we didn't make a prediction.
What? Yeah, we did.
Regardless of who. Okay.
Yeah, regardless of who, it's going to be an amazing match.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
So next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, that's 7 p.m. Eastern and UK. I'm sorry, I can't think of that far ahead.
7 GMT.
Thank you.
11
GMT. We're going to be doing our after show for TakeOver San Antonio. Then we're going to be doing our regular NXT
know
show.
what pecani sauce should taste like.
Nice. And then we're going to do our regular show at 6. So you're going to get double the dose of the NXT team on Wednesday,
yeah.
San Antonio at 4 p.m.
overdose.
And we'll announce this on Twitter as well. And we'll put this on Twitter as well. And then 6 o'clock is going to be our regular show. So until then, gentlemen, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Sundown Motel. You can find my writing at uprocks.com, uprocks.com/sports, withspanx.com. Check out withspanx.com every day. And of course, every Wednesday we do a best and worst of WCW Nitro by the wonderfully talented Brandon Stroud. Today's installment involved the NWO dropping propaganda from the heavens in a arena. So it's a lot of fun. It's always great. Check that out. And that's it.
And you can find me on Twitter at True Hobo. Watch Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Fight TV. What else? If you want to see me in a wrestle in a town near you, tweet the promotion with Hire the Hobo. Hashtag Hire the Hobo. This week it was, Defy Wrestling up in Washington. People were saying they want to see me at, so you never know.
You should probably try to go for places in Orlando around April time.
About then,
Yeah.
I defy wrestling to not book the Hobo.
Yeah, that's right. Listen to
Very
that.
good. You can follow me on Twitter at Mark Donica. You can help us out by going to nxteam.spreadshirt.com to pick up one of the shirts like Bill's wearing, as well as many other designs featuring Bill, Hobo, myself together separately. One that helps. One that may support your favorite. Not her. WWE announce team talent. But make sure, why don't you head over to nxteam.spreadshirt.com. Also,
watch out for 2 new shirts.
Yeah, and we got some new shirts coming. Listen to Making the Way to the Ring. We had Mickie James on. She talks about her return, as well as her time in NXT. And Xbox 12360, we had Eric Bischoff. It was a very, very good week of shows here at AfterBuzz TV. And make sure to tune in here for all our wrestling content Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and this Sunday for Royal Rumble. And follow us all at AfterBuzz TV. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. We will see you in San Antonio.
Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro,
Your
Phil Svitek,
AfterBuzz
and the entire
TV
AfterBuzz
predictions.
TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Shazza you later.
Shazza.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.